If you don't define what growth means to you, you'll follow someone else's path. And most founders don't realize that's what's happening. You're moving, you're growing, but you're measuring yourself against someone else's version of growth. The founder who just raised 2 million, the one who scaled first and the fastest, and the one that, quite frankly, just looks like they've figured it all out. So even when things really do work, it doesn't feel like yours because the direction isn't yours either. When that connection becomes misaligned, you lose the one thing that keeps outside voices in their place, your own clear direction. And without it, everything feels equally important, everyone's opinion matters, and every opportunity feels urgent, and every decision takes longer and costs more energy than it should. You start measuring yourself against people whose full story you don't know. Those that seem further ahead, but you don't know what it's cost them. Someone who scaled fast, but you don't see, what broke in that process. Someone who, looks certain, but you don't know really what they're carrying. And slowly, without meaning to, you stop leading your growth. You start following someone else's version of it. I felt like this myself. I had that 3 a.m. moment, but also in the months that followed that revelation, even after connecting to why I built the business in the first place, I found myself drifting again, quietly, following those that looked like progress, but it didn't feel like mine. The shift came when I stopped asking myself what to do next and start asking myself, what are we actually growing towards? That question changed everything, not because it gave me the answers, but because it gave me a filter. The noise didn't just disappear, it really stopped leading, and decisions that had been taking weeks started taking minutes. At Wyseminds, we use 3 simple questions to find your bearing again. Not to plan everything, just to bring direction back. We call them the 3 power questions for growth. The first, what does growth actually mean to you right now? Not last year, not what the market says, not what someone else is, building towards. What does growth mean to you? In this phase, with this business, at this stage of your life. Because when that's unclear, everything else competes for your attention. It's not about being right or wrong. The only wrong answer is not having one. Because when you don't define it, the world will define it for you. And here's how to think about it. Growth isn't just one thing. At Wyseminds, we see it across these 3 levels. The first level is you and your business concept. What do you want to be doing in the next 6 months, 12 months, 3 years? Are there things that you no longer want to do? How will what you offer evolve? The second level is your customer and the value you bring to them. Who are you doing this for? How will you be serving them better? What does their experience look like when you are at your best? And the third level is your team and how you create that value. Who supports you in making this happen? How does the business run? And does it run without you having to carry everything? You don't need to answer all of these today, but pick one level, the one that feels the most unclear right now, and write 2 lines beginning with, for me, growth looks like. That's your direction and it's your first key. So let's move to the second. Do I fully understand the value of my business and what it creates? The question cuts through this self-doubt faster than anything else I know. Because here's what most founders get wrong. They describe what they do, but value isn't what you do. It's what changes because of what you do. Ask yourself, what becomes possible for your customer that wasn't possible before? What problem disappears? What does their life or business look like after working with you? When that's clear, not just to you, but to your team and your customer, something shifts. Decisions align, conversations get easier, and the doubt that asks, am I doing enough, starts to lose its grip. Write one sentence. The difference I make is. Keep it plain. It's not jargon. It's not a marketing moment. It's just the change that you create. That's the second key. The third, am I spending my time on what truly drives growth? And do I have the influence to make that happen? This is the focus question, the one that shows you where your energy is actually going. Take your to-do list right now and split it into 2 columns. Putting out fires and building growth. Now look at that ratio. For most founders, the firefighting column is really full. The growth column has 2 things on it, maybe 3. Look, that's not a productivity problem. It's a direction problem. But here's the second part of that question that most founders really skip. Do you have the influence to change it? Because knowing where your time is going is one thing, but being positioned to redirect it is another. Ask yourself, what on the firefighting list could somebody else handle? Is the direction, clear? What was I holding on to because it feels easier to just do it yourself? And what on the growth list needs more of you, not less? You don't need to restructure everything today. Just notice one thing that you could move, one task that belongs in a different column, and one decision that doesn't need to come back to you. That's your third key. And when you have all 3, a clear definition of growth, a clear sense of value that you create, and a clear picture of where the time is actually going, you'll find the noise stops leading. Your decisions will simplify and effort finds its direction again, and growth starts to feel like yours again, not someone else's version of it. So before you plan the next quarter, just pause here. If you keep building at the pace that you're in right now, where does it actually lead? That's where the shift begins. If you want to go deeper, the free 8-day experience walks you through this work with structure and support. The link is just below, and if this video has landed, the next one goes further. We look forward to the story behind your business and why getting it straight is the foundation everything else is built on. I'll see you there.